So we recently got details about a new Avatar series coming from Avatar Studios, being worked on by the original creators, Brian Konietzko and Michael DiMartino. There have been rumors about this upcoming series for a while now, but it looks like it's finally been announced officially. The series follows the legend of Korra, with a new earthbending avatar. According to official details, there was a terrible cataclysm that apparently changed the way people see the Avatar, where instead of being humanity's savior, they considered her to be the destroyer. So now this new earthbending avatar is hunted by both humans and spirits. It doesn't look like there's any promotional material right now, and we don't know a lot of details like what this character's name is, but according to the synopsis we got, apparently the main character is a twin, and she and her long-lost twin now have to band together and save the world. I do wish they'd given us more to work with if they were going to announce it officially, but at least we finally have confirmation after being teased for so long. It was also confirmed that they're planning on making 2 seasons, although maybe they'll add more if things go well. After all, Legend of Korra ended up getting 4 seasons even though they were only planned for 1. But the episode length is planned to be half an hour instead of the usual 20 minutes. Some things I'd be interested in seeing from this show is how it links to Legend of Korra, and also if they could address some things that happened in that show, because it made some choices I personally wasn't a fan of. First of all, it retconned aspects from the original show, like how humans learned how to bend in the first place. According to The Last Airbender, humans learned these abilities through natural sources, whether it was learned from animals like badger moles being the first earthbenders, or dragons being the original firebenders, or from observing nature itself, like waterbenders learning from watching the tides.
You're gonna need to learn to draw your firebending from a different source. I recommend the original source. For earthbending, the original benders were badger moles.
I learned from the monks, but the original airbenders were the sky bison.
But this was retconned in Legend of Korra, where people were living on the backs of lion turtles originally, and then when they would go out into the rest of the world, the lion turtles would gift them with bending. Another retcon involved what the Avatar is. The Avatar is the bridge between the material plane and the spirit world, and was basically seen as the avatar of the world itself, in human form. But in Legend of Korra, it was portrayed instead as a human that was possessed by a spirit known as Rava, which is another change I didn't particularly care for. On top of that, since the spirit portals were opened, now it's not really considered necessary to even have an avatar, since the 2 worlds have crossed over. They also basically recontextualized the spirit world as being more like another dimension, instead of an actual supernatural realm, which I also was not a fan of. It basically demystifies the idea of the spirit world, and the spirits are more like interdimensional aliens rather than, spirits. I'm assuming Seven Havens will continue the ideas from Legend of Korra specifically, and it is their show and they can do what they want with it, even if I think it kinda hurts the narrative overall. But I do hope they at least address the Avatar cycle. In the Legend of Korra Season 2, Rava was ripped out of Korra and attacked pretty ruthlessly. This attack caused her to lose access to all the past lives of the Avatar, which was pretty hard to watch, especially after Korra having trouble connecting with her past Avatar lives was a big plot point in Season 1, only for that to be ripped away from her in Season 2. According to the creators, this was for the sake of having Korra stand on her own, instead of relying so much on her past lives, which again, I'm not a fan of. Drawing wisdom from their past experience and lives was a big deal for the Avatar. It's something Aang did a lot, and I don't think it's fair for Mike and Brian to say that they want to get rid of that in order to have a character stand on her own, because Aang was able to stand on his own and trust his own judgment and his story, while still being able to hold on to that connection. Aang, being a monk, was very uncomfortable being told he had to take the life of the Fire Lord, and he was desperately trying to find another way, and in his desperation he turned to his past lives, hoping that one of them would be able to guide him in a way that would lead him to a new path. However, all of them, including his past air nomad lives, told him that he would have to resort to violence, but he just wasn't able to compromise his moral values, and he kept pushing forward, even though literally everyone was telling him there was no other way. Aang was given a really interesting moral dilemma, and he was able to find his own way to solve it. If Aang was able to stand on his own morals and principles without having to lose his connection to himself, or his past lives and wisdom from the Avatar, why can't Korra? I think what happened in the finale of Avatar The Last Airbender proves that the Avatar is still learning. Both the past lives and the current Avatar can work together and learn from each other. Even though the current self draws wisdom from the past lives can still learn from their current self. herself, just like what happened with Aang. I don't know if this new avatar will be able to reconnect with her past lives, but it would be interesting to at least address this, and the long-standing consequences from it, not only for this new earthbending avatar, but for the future avatars as well. Hopefully we get more information on Seven Havens soon. I'm also really interested in learning about the supporting cast for this new show. It mentioned that this new avatar would have human and spirit enemies, so it'd be really interesting to see what kind of allies the twins get, from their animal companions to their human or possibly spirit companions. Aang had a really strong supporting cast, both when it came to their physical abilities and in their characters. I mean, Zuko is still basically considered the industry standard when it comes to a villain redemption arc, and Toph literally created a new bending style, while also being an interesting and awesome character, in both her personality and backstory. Korra's team admittedly got bogged down with the romance drama. Many people agree that the romance was the weakest aspect of this show, and it basically ruined Mako's character because it turned him into a cheater. And in my opinion, it got in the way of the story. Like, for example, when I was originally watching the show, I was really excited for Asami to join the cast, especially considering the plot at the time dealing with the Equalists, who wanted to eradicate bending from the world and make everyone a non-bender. However, at the time we were only following benders, so I thought introducing a non-bender to the team would add a really interesting perspective to the group, and one that we hadn't seen up until this point. But when she was finally introduced, it was revealed that she was a romantic rival to Korra, and she ends up being in a love triangle between her, Korra, and Mako, and it led to some really cringy and awkward moments that just reflected really poorly on everyone involved. I could probably make a whole video just on how botched this romantic subplot was. My point is, in my opinion, Korra's group wasn't as cool or interesting as Aang's group. They were kind of defined by relationship drama, and everything got really awkward and it ruined the dynamic. But I guess it was cool that Bolin could eventually lava bend, and Mako could lightning bend. It didn't really save his character, but you know, that was cool. Anyway, I just hope that Seven Havens will have an interesting and well-rounded cast. And hopefully this being their third show, they'll be able to put out something really solid. Hopefully we get more information soon. I'm definitely interested in seeing where this goes. But that's my opinion. What do you guys think? Are you excited for Avatar 7 Havens? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. Before I go, I want to give a shout out to the members: Tyrant Carnivore, Shiny Orc Boy, Depth Charge Media, Samaru163, Gabby Hime, Verdant Range, JVR, Equestron, Norman Sweet Cream, Way Beyond Coincidence, Hunter Rose, 80s Nostalgia Guy, Felix Bam, Lucas Geist, J Draws, Meowsers, Sky, Philip, Isaac Martinez, Garcia XV Legend, Tobias Weller, Bandito Bane, Mac B909, Dakari the Professor, Todd McCaffrey, Omni Fair, General Bolivar, Cavalcoj, Strider Exile, Phil C, Killer Bomb, Owen Wildish, Slawa Saporiguez, Entwined Boot 301, Griffin of Might, Frankie Camarillo, Datadyne Executive, Caleb Nelson, and Crimson Phantom. Thank you for the support. And if you want to become a member, you can hit the join button next to the subscribe button. We also have Buy Me Coffee if you want to support us that way. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And that part's free. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.